Hey folks, James Tiernan here again. Today I am very excited to be doing a video on my favorite listing right now. Favorite boat for sale, actually used, I think. It's Fountaine Pajot Tanna 47 called Spirit of Ecstasy. We've spent a lot of time building this boat out, studying the specification, customizing it. So the ultimate goal was for the owners to sail the Med, sail the Caribbean, and really be full-time liveaboards, which they did for 2 years. They spent about 6 months of the year on the boat for the last 2 years, and now they did the Med twice, 2 seasons in the Med, Bahamas, Caribbean, sailed her up here, and now it's time for her next owners to go and enjoy her. So I'm going to show you on board today. Going to point out some of the things that we customized and kind of fine-tuned, and come on, let's take a look. So if you watch my YouTube before, you might already know that Tanna 47 is actually my personal favorite cruising catamaran model out there, maybe ever built. I think that the balance between the performance, the comfort, the safety, it's just a perfect boat for a couple of cruises around the world in. Lots of room for family too. Sails really well, it feels safe. So it's a great boat. This one in particular, Spirit of Ecstasy, we spent a lot of time building this. I think the owner myself had 20 spreadsheets by the end of the studies we did, and really fine-tuning things like the electrical system. We really customized the rigging so it could be set up for him to sail alone. And then in the interior, just lots of little tweaks to make it more comfortable and more livable. A lot of small things, but they all add up, and you're going to see that today on board. You know, you step on board straight away, you see this awesome Sovereign grill. It's built in Australia. It's arguably one of the best marine grills you'll find on a boat. It's we plumbed it to the ship's propane system, so you don't need little gas cans. So it's a much tidier setup, and for anyone that likes to grill meat, this is the best. It gets real hot, so you can get the nice sear on the steaks, and it's perfectly located here. So, you know, stepping on board, you see that, and then you start kind of noticing all the other little things. Another thing you'll notice is he went with the hydraulic davits. So you have 3 options. You have the standard davits, which are run by electric winch. You have the hydraulic davits, like on this one, and you have the hydraulic platform. So I think the hydraulic davits are kind of best of both worlds. They're better than the standard davits, and some argue they're better than the hydraulic platform. And it really just depends how you're going to use the boat. The platform is great if you have dogs and kids and maybe older people coming on and off the boat. It gives you that extra platform aft to climb on and off the boat. The drawback is the added weight. It could be harder to put the dinghy on the platform in rough weather. That's what people say. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the davits and the platform can be just as tricky at times in bad weather. This owner ordered the hydraulic davits because he planned to do a lot of offshore racing, or not racing, but sailing, and he just wanted to keep the weight down. And also he felt like that if it's just him putting the dinghy on, he was more comfortable with the davits rather than the platform. So we could talk about that option all day long, and happy to if you want to give me a call. So as we move through the boat, you'll see lots of little custom things we did. This boat is set up to run in Europe on the 220/50 hertz, or in the US, which is 110/60 hertz. It has
1200 watts of solar.
a big lithium bank. It's got a total of 8,000 watts of inverting power. So really, you'll never run out of power. It's got the Northern Lights generator, it's got the upgraded Volvo engines, it's got the synthetic teak. We really fine-tuned the rigging, which makes it really easy for one person to sail. And we did some tweaks on the interior too, just maybe little cabinetry tweaks just to make it a bit more livable, a bit more comfortable, and a bit more practical. Of course, there's some aesthetic things done too. The owner likes to do a really nice vinyl wrap on the boat just so it looks really nice. That can be removed if you're not partial to the design. And then throughout you'll see the branding of the boat. So let's take a look around in a tour, and I'll kind of just show you different things as we go. In the cockpit here, you don't see them today, we took them off for the boat show, but we have the full summer and winter enclosures. And what that means is in the winter you can cover this whole area with isinglass, which goes up here real easy. It gives you an extra room, gives you shelter from the wind, the rain, cold. And then in the summer, when you just maybe want to keep the sun out, there's nice summer enclosures that gives you a bit of shade and a bit more privacy. Standing on synthetic teak, this was a custom option also with the nice grey lines so it doesn't get as hot as the black lines. We did a fridge and an ice maker. One thing that we learned the hard way, and it's very important if you do a custom ice maker to make sure there's a vent. You'll hear a lot of stories online about these ice makers not lasting long. They'll last long if you install them right, and installing them right, the key there is the vent. So as we come through into the interior with the salon and galley, they're very connected, of course. You know, that's one of the strong features of Fountaine Pajot. A lot of custom options here. We did a mix between full electric galley, so this is a combination oven, microwave, air fryer, runs off the inverter and battery power or the generator. Then we have the induction stove, keeps the heat down, again running off the electrical system. But we also left in the propane stove just to have some redundancy. So it's a good mix of everything. I know one customer who's interested in this boat is actually considering to remove the propane stove. They feel like they have enough with the electrical and they'd like this for storage. So there's still options on things you can do to personalize the boat for you. Of course, there's two big fridges. There's a freezer just in front of me here where the nav station is. We did the smaller salon table. So this is actually storage. So the owners on this boat figure they're going to eat out more in the aft cockpit. So this kind of opens the whole room up. Other things, little things that we tweaked. These Sirocco fans aren't standard. We find that the fans that come from the factory are a little rinky-dink. They don't last and they're kind of noisy. So for very little more, we do these Sirocco fans. Other things you can't see right now is that we have exterior blinds. So it gives you privacy and keeps the UV out also. In the galley, other little tweaks. We did a custom spice rack, custom storage over here, custom lighting. So again, the owner and I probably spent 2 years studying this and ordering it and building it. So what you get at the end of the day of a boat that's just really well dialed in for Liverport cruising. So what we'll do next is we'll explore the cabins. Then I'll show you the engine rooms and then I'll show you the rig setup and the helm station. So let's go down to the owner's cabin. So here we are in the owner's cabin. Lots of storage under the bed. Nice big bed. And one of the nicer things is there is a walk around. So when you're making the bed or you're getting on and off the bed, it's comfortable. It's not the older design or maybe the more performance cats. With narrower hulls, you're going to have to climb straight up. So this is a really nice feature. There's lots of natural ventilation. So if you're on anchor and you don't want to run the AC, very comfortable. Lots of storage over here too. Lots of storage throughout. We didn't do too many custom options in this particular part of the boat. Of course, there's the TV. If we go forward into this part of the boat, we actually upgraded the cupboard here. This is actually a hanging locker, and we upgraded the stainless steel bar so it can hold more clothes. We go into the owner's shower and head. Little things we did here, we actually added air conditioning to this part of the boat, which didn't come from the factory. So it's nice to have that ventilation. Upgraded head to fresh water, keeps the smell down. And then other little tweaks, we kind of sealed off the shower so no spray got out when you were showering. We did synthetic teak in the shower floor. Again, we just kind of focused lots of little detail into making sure this boat was ordered perfectly. So here we are in the forward starboard VIP cabin. This is a really nice cabin because the way the bed is orientated, it's a little high to be the widest part of the boat, and you have a beautiful view out the window when you wake up in the morning. So really nice orientation of the bed, very comfortable. One of my favorite features on the Tanna 47 that's not on other models is you actually have access to the 4-peak storage workshop, which you'll see here. Is where we keep a lot of the spare parts. So this boat is for sale used and comes with a whole inventory of spare parts, which I have a spreadsheet for if anyone wants to see. Of course, we have this nice platform, winter and summer covers, Volvo spare parts, generator spare parts, electrical spare parts. you know, the owner really wanted to make sure if when he's out cruising, he doesn't need to come back to port. He's got everything he needs to be able to fix what breaks, if it breaks and when it breaks. So next we're going to go aft towards the aft guest cabin, and along the way we're going to look at the washer dryer that we install in this one. It is the Bosch washer dryer, which is the preferred model right now. It's a 220 50 hertz one, so it has its own inverter, but washes and dries better than the splendid ones you might see on other boats. So as I mentioned, this is the Bosch washer dryer. It's a really, really nice model. All of my customers love it and prefer it to the splendid model. Next, we're going to look at the guest heads. They all have separate heads and showers. We did a customization on this one, so they added a shower curtain just to give it even more, you know, comfort. So let's take a look at that. So here we are in the last guest cabin. The nice thing about these boats, all the beds are the same, so it's almost a queen. This little cutout, which technically makes it not a queen bed, but again, like the other cabins, very easy to walk around, be able to make the bed, get in and out. At the head of each side of the bed, there's actually lights with phone chargers, USB chargers, which I think is absolutely needed these days. Let's go take a look at the helm station and exterior. So sitting at my favorite part of the Fountaine Pajot design, from the 41 to the 51, all the helm stations are the same orientation, same line setup, same throttle setup. So basically what that means, from 41 to 51 feet, they're set up for short-handed sailing. The idea is it's going to be a couple, a lot of times just one person handling the boat. So everything comes to this area. The unique things about this particular one is he went for the nice composite helm wheel, which just gives a little touch of, you know, it just looks good and it feels good. Above me here is the dedicated marine hardtop, which is very popular, built in Florida. We ship them to France and then install them there. Nice thing about the hardtop is it comes with extra lighting that the soft bimini does not. Now it's double the price, so some don't see the value in it, but for me I do. It lasts forever, and even just the feel of security when you're here, I think it gives value there too. So if we look at the rigging setup next, just in front of me here, you will see lots of customizations, and just little things, but things that make the boat that much easier to handle solo. So we add locks for the head sail, we add single line reefing systems, an extra spinnaker halyard, 2 electric winches. We have these stainless steel plates to help, you know, protect the fiberglass when the line is running, and all this makes a big difference. Over time the boat wears a lot better. Like I said, the boat's much easier to sail. With this setup, you never have to leave the cockpit to put a reef in. Again, it's single line reefing. Then if we go up to where you're going to hang out most of the time, this is your upper deck lounge area. We did a custom table here, which is beautiful, synthetic teak, and it's just the best part of the boat to hang out on. So one thing I say a lot, what I like about Fountaine Pajot design is how easy it is to sail for, you know, short-handed. One of the things that makes it easier to sail is the position of the boom and how low it is. So there's no need for climbing up masts. Everything is accessible from the deck. Some of our competition models have a big fly bridge and then a hardtop, and you have to climb the mast to handle the sails. So this is a much more practical and functional design. So here are the solar panels. So one thing I just want to correct myself on, there's actually 3 electric winches on this boat. From the factory, it's possible to have 2 electric. We customized it after to have the last one electrified too. So again, making everything as easy as possible. I talk about safety a lot. Look how flush these decks are. You have handholds everywhere. So if you are needing to go out on the deck in rough weather, it's a very safe passage to the foredeck. Flush hatches and nice, beautiful forward deck. We did not do cushions up here for a couple of reasons. They take up a lot of space when you're storing them. It makes it harder to access this locker here, which is your chain locker and anchor locker. Also has some other storage. And the owners figured they're going to spend more time up top. So what we did, or we helped our customer do, is order nice big bean bags that he stores below, and he puts them on the deck. Cushions are $4,500, so that was a factor too. We have the bowsprit and spinnaker gear here, a really nice custom sail inventory. Just again, he's going to be cruising offshore. Needs to make sure he's got all the sails needed. We have a custom mantis anchor with extra chain counter and control at the helm station, so he's able to raise the anchor from the helm station. We did custom steps here. This is not standard. This is just so you can access the sails from the foredeck if needed. It's a nice little touch. You know, yeah, you could climb up here, but this is just a little easier. 4-peak storage course, and there we are. So moving aft again, I wanted to just circle back on the electronics we did on this one. We actually did the upgraded 12-inch custom Garmin screen here, the MFD, which is chart plotter, radar, AS, then tri-data Garmin. We did Starlink, which is hugely popular right now. And like I mentioned earlier, we have the hydraulic davits and the high feel with the console. So other little things, if you want to follow me this way, that we did custom is custom stairs, or the swimming ladder. So this actually opens out so you have handles as well as nice wider steps. This fitting here is for your gangplank that you would have seen in the forward cockpit. Other little attentions to detail, we did custom stainless steel caps here rather than the standard plastic which tarnish, or not tarnish, I guess they discolor in the sun. So we added this nice stainless steel fittings, and then of course the custom rigging. So next I'm going to just show you in one of the engine rooms and show you what we did there, and we're going to leave it at that. So one thing we hear a lot is people love the space in the engine room. So if we remember that these boats are designed for couples to live aboard and cruise, even though some may not want to do it, the assumption is they can maintain their own boats, right? So they can do the regular engine maintenance, they can access the inverters really easy, the pumps, the filters. So there's actually a lot of room in here to do all that. If you want, I'll just take you on a little tour so you can see what I mean. So you can see you have access to the whole motor. I mentioned about the 8,000 kilowatts, or 8 kilowatts of inverter power. And you have your breakers, your custom lithium battery bank, your sea strainer, your oil filter, and just down here is your water maker. So, you know, very practical, set up for easy maintenance and easy repairs if needed. So quite a long video today. I'm sure there's things I missed, but I have the listing online so you can see all the details listed there, or just as easy, give me a call. Happy to talk to you about this boat or any other boat. We'll see you on the dock somewhere, and if you see me at one of the boat shows, I'd love to say hello, so come up and say hello to me.